What up, Bills Mafia? Is Jay Coffee Talk back with another Bills blog, man. And I just, scrolling, doing my thing, and I come across this tweet that really, set me down the old T-Mobile rabbit hole. You see the tweet. This is from Ryan Thomas. Ryan Thomas Take is his Twitter handle. And he says, this guy deserves more credit for what he did for the Buffalo Bills. Was he the greatest passer? No. Was he the best QB for the team at that time? Yes. And man, oh man, Tyrod Taylor, man. Like, when that offseason approached, or leading up to that season, I believe it was EJ Manuel, Tyrod, the first year Tyrod, was with Buffalo, and Matt Castle. And I told everyone, yo, Tyrod is going to win the job. And a lot of people were like, no, it's going to be Matt Castle. You want Tyrod to start because he's exciting. He can run, blah, blah, blah. And I said, nah, man, Tyrod is a lot better QB than people, would like to think. Although at that time, we hadn't seen much of Tyrod Taylor in the NFL. In college, of course, he shined, he did his thing. But I mean, when it comes to the NFL, that's another story. But, he was riding the bench in Baltimore behind Flacco. And I said, yo, from the second that was announced, I said, Tyrod is going to be the starter. And what was so crazy is obviously he did win the starting job. But week one that season against, wasn't it Indy? Yeah, it was Indy. Matt Castle actually took the first snap, and it was like a trick play where they were both out there. So technically, Matt Castle started that game. But anyways, man, Tyrod did his thing out there. You guys remember that touchdown he threw to Percy Harvin? That's a whole nother story. Percy, man, that guy was frustrating. As a Buffalo Bill, I know he frustrated fan bases of other teams where he was at also, but that's a whole nother story. That was a beautiful pass, and Tyrod showed he could go downfield. Now, I just wanted to go over a couple of these other replies while, I continue this T-Mobile dialogue. But you see this guy, Sports Rock. He's always all over Bill's Twitter. A lot of great stuff. He says, I think he will undersell his skills as a passer. Dude has a cannon. Just post 2015, he was wildly risk adverse. And then it says he led a top 10 scoring offense in 2015. Great guy and all, but to be honest, he was not that good. I, don't agree with that tweet there, but I do agree that he was a great guy. But Tyrod Taylor was very good. It was so crazy, though, his last year with the Bills, that, obviously we broke the playoff drought. But for all my, loyal Bills fans or just football fans who, really watch the games, watch what was going on, what was the deal that last season? It was like come mid to the last stretch of the season. Um, I don't know if it was our game planning or what, but it just felt like, I don't know. I was getting a little frustrated with Tyrod, and at one point in time, I was open for a change at quarterback. Now, obviously, that was one of the biggest mistakes ever. We're not even going to talk about that guy. I've said in my other Buffalo Bills videos, I will never breathe that bozo's name. But it was just odd, And then post his time with the Bills. And let's not forget about the playoff game. That was very, very frustrating for Tyrod to get down there on the one, and we got no points. That was frustrating. I mean, I know it wasn't all on him. I believe we had a false start penalty or a holding or something down there, but that was ridiculously frustrating. But since being in Buffalo, though, Cleveland, he gets benched very quick. And then last year, I was very excited, just as a fan of Tyrod's, to see him get another shot with the Chargers. And we see, that ended very quickly. Although I guess the Chargers medical personnel is a bit to blame for that, as they punctured his lung, if I remember that correctly. But let's read some more of these. He says, I love him. It was just time. I remember McDermott had a kind of tank mentality because they knew they wanted to draft. So he pulled Tyrod out for, like I said, I ain't going to say his name, and that went so bad that Tyrod became starter again, and the rest is history. Drought over. Definitely didn't have a tank mentality. He put in because Tyrod went 9 for 18 for 50 yards and an INT the week before. We're not going to read the rest of that because I don't want to talk about that guy. Yeah, I don't believe McDermott had a tank mentality at all with the Bills. Not one bit. I don't believe that. Does anyone else believe that? It says Tyrod ended the long playoff drought that started when Rob Johnson somehow got the start over Doug Flutie. For that, he deserves respect. And to this tweet, there is a rant that I normally go on about the Music City Miracle and about that benching, which made no sense, but I'm not even going to go into it at this point. I've spoke on it so many times, but I will say Wade Phillips has pretty much said he was forced to make that move. Let's see. Like this woman says, did you watch Flutie play in '99? He was playing absolutely abysmal. No choice but to play. Rob played good enough to win as well. I don't agree with that tweet. I wouldn't say he was playing abysmal at all. He got us to the playoffs again. He was having some rocky games and stretches throughout the season, but no, Rob didn't play good enough to win. Our defense kept us in that low game, and Rob was an absolute joke out there. The only thing he did good was that little magic when his shoe fell off, but I don't know. I don't even want to talk about that anymore, but what's to say he was definitely better than who the Bills had in a long time before him, but I will always be grateful that Bean and McDermott, even after a playoff berth, realized they needed an upgrade. And obviously, I love where we're at quarterback right now. I can't say that enough. I love having Josh Allen as my QB. Like, that's my quarterback, you know what I mean? But Tyrod Taylor definitely brought a lot to the table. And, you know, since his time in Buffalo, yes, it's kind of like, hit the comments, anyone who watches this. Do you feel that, you know, Tyrod is not starting caliber at all anywhere in the NFL still at this point, or what are your thoughts about Tyrod? And while I'm saying that, I don't know why this is just randomly popping in my head too. RG3, I just seen an article about him. Is is he still good enough to be a backup? Or it's just kind of crazy thinking of RG3, a guy that led Washington to the playoffs as a rookie, and man, things just have really went downhill for RG3 since then, and it's almost like he's a forgotten guy, but a hell of a quarterback too. I don't know why, guys. I just kind of go on these side conversations and side notes. I'm all over the place, but I just saw this. What's to say for sure? He's a straight professional. Nothing but respect for Tyrod. If he wasn't so tentative and let the ball rip more, he could have been very good, and I'll always remember him for breaking the drought. I think he had a top 10 QBR during his 3 years and averaged less than 200 yards passing. That's not going to cut it in today's NFL. Yeah, that was always kind of um, the criticism of Tyrod, right, was that he was afraid to take shots downfield, that, he wouldn't throw a lot of picks, but he just wouldn't let it rip, basically, the way that person put it there. But I don't know. I just um, saw that tweet and just kind of wanted to have a little good old talk about T-Mobile and Buffalo. What's this guy say? Did the defenses do most of the heavy lifting? Yes. Was Tyrod good enough at the time? Yes, of course. And then let's see the reply here. Our defense was trash during Tyrod's tenure. LOL, it absolutely was not trash 2017. Fuck out of here. Um, I don't know, guys. LOL, everyone knows the 4 blowouts heavily skewed those numbers. We allowed 20 points or less 10 times that year. Anytime Tyrod had to sling it to keep up with our opponent, we lost. So I'll just kind of, tap out there with the replies. But once again, guys, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I just, as a Bills fan, I always have a special place for Tyrod Taylor. Like, most people are saying here, he broke the drought. I just remember being so excited when we got him. And one more thing I'll leave you guys with before I close this out. Do you guys remember like week 4, week 5, Tyrod's first year with the Bills? He actually got hurt in that game. And EJ played the Jacksonville game in London because of it. I believe it was versus the Titans. Tyrod, man, went out there against the Titans and the offense wasn't really clicking or whatever. And then just like in the second half, he was just like a one-man show running all over the place. Man, he really has some beautiful highlights running the ball. Man, like when I saw him run, call me crazy. At times I said, man, could he be like a more athletic quarterback with his feet than Michael Vick ever was? Or am I tripping? I don't know. I mean, obviously Vick's numbers are way higher as he had way more of a career as a starter than Tyrod Taylor. But I don't know, guys. I'll just leave you there with that. Thank you for watching. Sorry this video was all over the place. Just wanted to pay some respect to T-Mobile, Tyrod Taylor. And once again, great role model, great dude, positive guy. Thanks for watching. Sub to the channel. Stay tuned for more NFL content, for more football content, more Bills content, and a lot of other topics out there too. Thanks for watching, and I'm gone.